So the book that I would highly recommend is called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And I read this book years and years ago, and it still had impact on that. And one of the great things I love about books, especially really good ones like this that I will revisit, is that each time you even skim them or go through them, I feel like you get different things from them just depending on where you're at in your life. It's like your glasses change, so you get different things from those different books. And I read this book probably I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. And at that time I did have an upper limit, and now I'm reaching a new upper limit for myself. And just to do like a personal share, where for a long time I've attached my personal achievement or who I am and my value as a person to struggle and to being able to tackle the hard things and being stressed out and being able to handle chaos. I'm the one you want when all the things are going wrong type idea. And then as I've gotten more successful, and then also like looked at my own health and lifestyle with my cortisol levels and my stress levels, like that has a really high toll on your body and time. And I was like, well, why is this? And it's been a challenge to be able to get to that, to handle that upper limit for myself of what would it feel like for success to feel good without having that struggle? Like, is that even possible? And there's a couple different elements that you need to be able to understand when you're thinking about that. I work with my ChatGPT coach, and one of the things that it flagged up was like, who would you be if you weren't this person that could figure it out, that was like stressed out and in the chaos? And it's like, I wouldn't be me anymore. I wouldn't be the Melodie that's the savior, that like everything's going wrong. Okay, Melodie's gonna come in and save the day. And so I think one of the things that could be like a little bit more within the book, because I think The Big Leap kind of gives you the concept, but like, okay, hey, how does this actually play out? And for me, with that level of leap, you really have to look at how you define who you are, because it's like it's the upper limit. But if that upper limit is tied to who you think you are as a person, that I'm the one that can handle chaos, I can handle all the things that are thrown at me, like myself, then it's actually kind of painful in a lot of ways, because there's a grief to that, because there's a death of who you were. And I think that's the next level of this book with The Big Leap. Absolutely recommended. It's a pretty quick read too. Pretty easy one to get through, probably within a week or so if you're an avid reader like myself. And that next level is the death of the person that you used to be. And I think that's one of the harder things when we're looking at growth is, yes, we have this upper limit, but you also need to let who you were die. And what does that look like? And I'm right in the middle of this right now. So it's still a question mark for me. What does this new version of Melodie look like? I don't have an answer for that. And there's a level of courage that it takes to face that. I wouldn't say it's easy, but I also think that it's harder to stay the person and version that you were in that struggle. And then the Big Leap, I think, gives you a really good basis for how to recognize that and to get to that first level. And then I hope that as you're going through this, you get to evolve like who you are, because we're not static as human beings. We're more than that. And I hope that you do find something where you find that upper limit for yourself, that it will show you how to, like, the death of who you were for who you could be. And I personally feel like it's exciting. It is scary, no doubt, but at the same time, it's very exciting, because that person, in my mind, looking at version 2.0 of Melodie, is going to be the next evolution of that Melodie, and embracing that and going forward. There are two options when you're aware of something. When you're aware of something that is holding you back, you can either embrace that and delve into it, or you can blame, deny, and justify. And if you're anything like me, you delve into it to evolve into your next level. I highly recommend The Big Leap. It gives you a real framework on how to recognize where potentially you're holding yourself back and where you're sabotaging. And it gave me a good framework to be able to get to this next level. But I think that you need to read that book first, get through what's in front of you and clear that out, and then it's like leveling up over time. If you do read it or you do get to your next level, please comment below. I'd love to hear about your journey.